This video is going to be a look at some Rashad Bateman film from the first 6 weeks of the 2023 NFL season, his third year with the Baltimore Ravens. There's so many questions swirling around him the last 2 weeks, the lack of involvement and targets against the Titans in week 6, the drop touchdown pass against the Steelers in week 5. It's rightfully so that there's questions surrounding him, even though he's only 23 years old. And I'm not into making summary judgments on 23-year-old people who at this point I consider kids because I'm an old man. I mean that in a respectful way. Uh, he's certainly not lived up to his talent level so far. To me, he's clearly incredibly talented. You see bursts of it or snippets of it at times in his career with the Ravens. Doesn't seem as explosive this year in open field or with the ball or even attempting to go get the ball. Is there a disconnect? What are all the issues? I don't know. None of us know. I don't know what the reads are sometimes. We can speculate on some of them, but only the guys in the meeting rooms and in the position group know, and the head coach and the offensive coordinator and his position coach. He's 23 years old. I think he turns 24 in November. So on some level, you think, well, he's got a lot of opportunity ahead of him. Man, the NFL moves fast, though. He's only got 10 catches this year on 15 targets, no touchdowns. Of course, the huge missed opportunity against the Steelers. What are some of the questions? I'm sure I'll only address half of them or a third. Will we ever see him reach his potential in Baltimore? Does he get open at all? That's the reason why I'm doing this video. I'm not sure that I will necessarily answer that completely. There's times where he's open. There's times where he is not. There's times where he's open and he's not being targeted. He's not a part of the read. He's a backside X receiver. So whatever the percent of the time is that he's backside of trips, he's not a part of the read progression in terms of the route concept that's being run by three guys to the other side. I would like to see him be a part of the route progression more, but it's my contention he's an X receiver. So 2x2 sets or 3x1 sets with the running back to his side and some type of route concept over there to his side. I'd like to see that more often. If he is getting open, as I claim that he does at times, why aren't there more targets? Why is he off the field so much? Well, part of the explanation is I think that's the design. I think that's the intention. Flowers, OBJ, Aguilar, Duve. It's not 2021. It's not. It's a totally different group. We even got talented guys who can't get on the field, and Devin Duvernay, like I mentioned. Andrews and Likely and Kolar are a part of that as well. Those are guys that have shown the ability to make plays on the field, either in the regular season playoffs or in the case of Kolar in the preseason. I don't think it's a bad thing that he has to earn more snaps. Would I like to see him on the field more? Sure. I kind of do prefer what the Ravens are doing with him and OBJ in terms of, I don't want to say rotating them, but not having them both on the field at the same time that often. They seem to be splitting snaps. Well, we've got an injury history with both of those guys. Both of them are still trying, hopefully have returned to full health. But if they are at 100% right now, that just happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's a good strategy to limit those guys' usage early on. Do I think that Rashad Bateman can give us a big impact 2 or 3 times this year? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Will it be 7 catches for 108 like he had against the Browns in 2021, or 4 catches for 103 like he had against the Dolphins last year, including the 75-yard touchdown against one of the better corners in the league? I don't know, but I think he can have an impact. I think he can help this team. This is a climb for him, and it has to be frustrating, I'm sure. It's always going to be tough during any climb, right? Can he make it? I don't know. I mean, he's talented enough. If he gets more opportunity, he'll have chances to take advantage of it. More opportunity comes more chances to catch the football, to make plays. Does he deserve that much opportunity? I mean, only Rashad Bateman and the position coaches and offensive coordinators know that. I think he can make plays, the best of him that we've seen. The Dolphins in 2022 and 2021. The Browns and Vikings in 2021. Thought he dominated the third and fourth quarter against the Browns that year on the road in Cleveland. Some great plays against the Patriots in 2022. He's an ex-receiver who does need a lot of targets at times to show a lot of impact. Let's get to some of the film. Look, this is disappointing. It just is for us to be in year 3 with him, with Lamar Jackson. I know Lamar missed, parts of the last 2 seasons near the end, and Bateman has missed time. It's disappointing that this isn't figured out. Okay, people want to say it's a bad throw by Lamar. Fine. It's a little bit high. If it's high for Rashad Bateman to catch, how is it not high for Murphy Bunting to catch? Would I like to see him give more effort here? Certainly. Do I know who made the mistake? Bateman turning in and looking for the ball about 4 or 5 yards in from the sideline, or Lamar throwing it out here, I have no idea. If they're reading the coverage of the receiver, I don't think Bateman is wrong, but I can't say that Lamar is either. We've seen too many examples of stuff like this. Well, we haven't seen drop touchdown passes from him, but as Ravens fans, I know probably how most of you felt when we saw the ball in his hands, like right about here last week against the Steelers, or I guess 2 games ago. We were super excited to see the dude get a touchdown. Zay Flowers got his first touchdown this past week against the Titans, and multiple guys ran up to congratulate him. I'm not saying that people wouldn't do that with Rashad Bateman. I would hope that like multiple people would like go mug the dude, regardless of whether some of his issues are self-inflicted. Hey, he's 23 years old. Like, have all of us at 23 or 24 ever said anything or done anything that was somewhat untoward or we'd like to take back? Sure. Does he occasionally come across as a little bit, I don't want to use the word arrogant, as someone who thinks he's better than the production? Sure, he does. I actually kind of like that. I'll be honest with you. Don't you want people that are confident? Are there times when he's missed opportunities? Sure, it just showed you one of them, right? And maybe the interception against the Titans is partially or mostly his fault. Are there times where there's opportunities to get him the ball and make a play? You're damn right. Now, this is a 3rd and 10 against the Bengals. Completion to Aguilar over the middle. It's stick split 0. Do you remember the Dolphins in 2021? Lamar tore the Dolphins up in stick split 0 to this area of the field here to Rashad Bateman. I'm not saying, hey, just throw the football up to Bateman every time, but there are times where he's available, and this is a DB not showing really any technique at all. I've been advocating for throwing the ball deep against stick split 0, but we don't see it 12 times a game. We see it like 3 times a game, maybe. So it's Lamar's job and the receiver's job it's the coach's job, first of all, to have them prepared for these situations. And then it's Lamar and the receiver's job to read things together at the same time and get the football out. Hey, you can't argue with a completion to Aguilar. No problem. I'm saying against stick split 0, I'd like to see us throw the daggone thing deep, and I've been saying that for 2 years. And, I'll just continue to be wrong if you don't agree or the Ravens coaching staff doesn't either. All right, he is open and available for the ball here, but Lamar gets the ball out quick. Like, what are we going to complain about? That Lamar's getting the ball out fast to a guy who catches the ball and makes a huge play. We've got a lot of talented receivers now. And there's going to be weeks where guys don't get as many targets. Unfortunately for Rashad Bateman, even in situations like this where, he is breaking open with the potential for a big play. Look, Lamar's already got rid of the football. It's a successful play to the most explosive player we have, or maybe second most. I don't know how you would categorize him and Lamar. So you can't fault Lamar Jackson at all for throwing it to the first guy who's open. That's the way read progressions work. If one is open, throw it. If one's covered and 2 is open, throw it to 2. If you get to the third part of the progression, great. We have time, hopefully, in that situation, and you can hopefully operate to the third guy. Rashad Bateman, in this case, was a little later in the progression. Lamar had already gotten rid of the football. What does it mean? That means he's open and available for the football on that play. There's other ones like this where he's open and the ball, wet ball, or maybe the ball is tipped or comes out of Lamar's hands wrong. Lamar's been dealing with a hand injury, I think, for the better part of the last 2 or 3 weeks. What does it mean? I don't know, man. You make your own judgments. I'm not into one play representing the totality of a player, be it Lamar, be it Bateman, or anyone else. He can contribute to this football team. An engaged Rashad Bateman with some opportunity can help us. Could he have caught the same ball that OBJ did last week? Yeah, sure. The slant that OBJ took for 32 yards. I'm just glad that it was either one of them that did it. It doesn't really matter to me who it is. That's actually not Bateman. There, he's the guy who motioned down to the bottom side of the screen. It's the cut up I did for Zay Flowers, for OBJ and Bateman after week 1. It's a great ball by Lamar. Again, the ball is out early. Smart defense. I think it's like a quarters type coverage. Bateman's down here. Like, what are you going to say about this play? There's no summary judgment to make about it. Lamar was early in the progression, getting the ball out quick, which is what he's been coached to do. That's obviously not Bateman playing left tackle. This is a 2nd and long catch against Dax Hill over the middle. Again, that's not Bateman. That's Patrick McCarry. It's a cut up I did when he had to play in Ronnie Stanley's stead. Bateman's capable of plays like these. Like, what are we going to do? Just because he's not producing to the level that we want, judge every single play and say that he's sorry. No, he's not sorry. He's just not producing. He's been able to do a lot of things like this, but you can't do stuff like this 4, 5, 6 times a game. Run all the way across the field against the Jets. The first possession of the season in 2022, he had 2 catches, I think, on the first drive. On this particular concept, similar to this, he had 1 against the Steelers. He has 1 against the Titans that I'll show you here in a moment. I don't know. I guess it depends on really who you are and what your perspective is. Do you want more out of a first-round pick? Absolutely. Have we gotten enough to justify the pick? No, we haven't. He's been injured a lot, number one. Number two, we've had a lot of times where Lamar's been out and or he's been out, and they've hardly even played football games together. Gus, J.K., Bateman, Ronnie Stanley, Lamar, I don't think played a single game together through Rashad Bateman's career. This interception is disappointing. I have no idea what he's supposed to be reading, what he's been taught in terms of his reaction to the leverage by the corner. I know we don't throw to the backside X a lot. And then here's a situation where we do, and it appears to take off on Lamar a little bit, if you ask me. I think his elbow dropped somewhat. Looks a little bit of a high throw to me. Could Rashad Bateman have made an effort? Sure. Judge however you want. This is OBJ's opportunity, I think, on a slant back. I'm sorry, he's chipping. It's another issue, my apologies, is that Bateman hasn't been on the field all the time because of the depth. So to say he has 10 catches this year, could he have more catches if he was playing every snap? Of course. If he plays every snap and he's not 100% yet, he could get hurt. That's why I think it's a smart decision for the Ravens to utilize him and OBJ somewhat in a rotation. This is the slant to OBJ on the backside against the zone by the Titans. Bateman's not involved here at all. Could he make this catch? Of course. Now, there's going to be pessimistic people who say, well, he could also drop that ball like he did against the Steelers. No doubt. I don't think they put him on the field at all if he's consistently dropping passes. Again, not on the field here. It's OBJ up top with Aguilar. I'm content with the rotation that we have at receiver. Does it mean that certain guys? I hate that play by Jeffrey Simmons. He's a super talented football player. I just hate that he's diving at people's ankles who are already locked up. But in any case, does it make certain people's stats not look great? Of course it does. Is Rashad Bateman's statistical contribution, perhaps his ability to get a second contract with the Ravens, at risk? Yeah, absolutely. You have multiple talented guys here, and I don't fault the Ravens at all for rotating Bateman and OBJ. I think it's smart, as I've said a couple times before, and I think it gives those guys the best opportunity to try to get back to full health and make contributions. Down here to the bottom side, I would like to see us throw this route to Bateman. We threw it to OBJ last week against 2 games ago against the Steelers. It got intercepted, and what I'm talking about is throwing it like to the back corner of the end zone. Let him go get the thing. Give him an opportunity. We don't have great red zone efficiency recently. We did in the first, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks. That's kind of seemed to disappear the last 2 weeks, and it's haunted us against the Steelers and almost haunted us against the Titans. You guys let me know what you think. I'm sure you are as the video premieres. I'm not ready to give up on Rashad Bateman yet. Do I think that he should get 50 snaps a game as our ex-receiver and 10 targets? No. No way. There's just too many talented guys, and there's too many things that the offense has been doing well this year to justify him getting that much opportunity. He's got to go out and earn it in practice or during the limited chances that he gets on the field during the game. I think as far as overall snaps go, he has played 34 snaps and 27 snaps the previous 2 weeks after being inactive against the Browns in week 4. In those 30 snaps, he's got to figure out a way to contribute. Now you'll say, well, Coach, 2/3 of those might be run plays, or half of them might be run plays. Man, go back and look at the snap count for Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy this past week, and look at the impact that they had. I think one of them played 28 snaps, and the other one played 32. Do I think Rashad Bateman can help us? Yes, I do. Do I think it'll be this week against the Lions? No idea. It could be. It's entirely possible that he has 3 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. That's entirely possible. Is it possible he drops another opportunity? Sure. I don't think it's very likely. I think he's pretty pissed off about the way that turned out against the Steelers. I thought you could see that in his reaction, and I guess he deleted his social media. Man, I don't care about those things. Like, I hope the dude is able to get to full health and help this team win football games in the regular season and win playoff games and then be able to shut us all up at some point by getting a Super Bowl trophy at the end of the season. Appreciate you guys' time, man. Let me know what your thoughts are on Rashad Bateman and some of the film that I picked to show you. Just trying to give you a balanced look or perspective at it without providing a summary judgment, because I don't think we can do that yet. We're only through 6 weeks of 2023, and Lord willing, Bateman can be healthy and show us what he can all do with more opportunities as the season progresses. Appreciate you guys' time.